Hello, all you keen creatives out there. I'm Kirsty, and this is part of a series of talks for Blueprint 100. So for all of you that have been tuning in already, I hope you've been enjoying them, and I hope they've not been too lengthy. But I just feel like there's so much about each subject to fit in. So I'll try and just keep on to the most important points, and let's get on with the talk. Tonight we're going to talk about artist collectives. So an artist collective is a group of artists that come together and work together in some form. But why do they do that? Well, they may have a shared ideology, a shared political view, the same aesthetic, and they come together to work towards a common goal. Or it might be for more practical reasons, such as sharing resources, a workspace, cutting costs, or making it easier for them to promote themselves. One form of artist collective is people that come together to create protest art. And this can be about anything from nuclear disarmament to feminist issues. And this sort of group saw a rise in the 1960s due to the political situation of the time. There was an increasingly right-wing discourse which gave birth to a liberal counterculture movement. One example that I've always been impressed with is during 1968 in Paris, there was a group of artists and students that took over their own art school and used it for the purpose of creating protest art. The students would print hundreds and sometimes thousands of posters and flyers overnight, and in the early morning they would go around and paste them all over walls and lampposts all around Paris, which allowed them to communicate their plans for action as well as their political messages. A couple of examples of smaller scale protest art collectives are that of ASCO, which they were active in the 70s and 80s in Los Angeles, and they were made up of 3 male and 1 female artists who were part of the Chicano community, which is the name given to Mexicans living in the USA. They felt that the Chicano community was underrepresented in the art scene and in the media, so they used public stunts and performance to change this. Similarly, in the 80s, the Guerrilla Girls from New York, they used public stunts to tackle feminist issues and support women artists. And they would go around different art galleries dressed up as gorillas. So I think you can tell from looking at the work that these groups created that they definitely had a lot of fun coming up with these new ideas and pushing the boundaries of what was expected and making work together. That's one of the things that I feel would be most exciting about being part of an artist collective, is that you're working together with kindred spirits, and you can get excited about ideas together, and you can learn from each other and have a laugh along the way. So on to some of the exciting international artist collectives that are working in the world today. There is Team Lab in Tokyo, Japan, which is an interdisciplinary group that investigates human behaviour in the information era, and they create larger-than-life digital installations and experiences. There's Assemble, who are a London-based collective working across the fields of art, architecture and design, and in 2015 they actually became the first winners of the Turner Prize who were not artists. So it kind of shows like the range of different fields that collectives work across. An exciting collective that I've just come across this week are called the Miss Rockaway Armada from America. And it started out as an idea between these artists that they wanted to create their own rafts and sail down the Mississippi River. So like they wanted to sort of make their younger selves proud by creating a living, kicking model of an entirely different world. They want their homemade rafts to promote a sustainable way to travel and demonstrate different ways of living. The raft trip also allows them to learn from folks along the way, to share their art, music and performance, and make new friends. They also say that they enjoy the adventure of sleeping under the stars. That does sound like a fantastic thing to do. More close to home, there is a form of art collective that is common across the UK, and it's when artists and designers share the same studio space, well, the same studio building. Usually, artist studio facilities include either a cafe and canteen space or a shared workshop and sometimes an exhibition space, which allows the people renting in the same building to come together and share resources, ideas, and put on exhibitions together. Examples of this in Scotland are the Wasps Studios, SWG3, and the Whiskey Bond in Glasgow. The internet is also a great way for meeting like-minded artists and designers online, because there's a lot of different social platforms that are geared towards helping artists meet and collaborate. So people can talk online and find people that want to do the same sort of projects. As you can see, there are a lot of different forms of collectives, but it does seem pretty beneficial to be part of one, which sometimes we don't really think about when we're starting out or when we're at uni, because you just think, oh, I've got to work for an organisation or a business, but you could just start up your own collective and you could make work for yourselves, just as musicians do in bands or, working in a place where you share their ideals. I feel that artists deserve to have great workmates too. Many thanks for watching, and next month's talk, I'm asking you at home to give me some ideas about what you'd like me to explore, so please get in touch.